Oh, they just still keep rolling in, don't they? Hashtag shed back, prefer the shed, bring back the shed. I was gonna start this video and rant about that. I was gonna be like, I'm here, what don't you understand? The shed videos aren't going anywhere. But I'm pretty sure you're all just trolling me by this point. I'm just doing a new series. That doesn't mean that this series is stopped. You can have both. It's like if your mum bakes you a nice chocolate cake, even though you've got a blancmange in the fridge. You're not gonna lob the blancmange in the bin just because you've got a new cake. You can have both. You can have a nibble of the cake, still go back to the blancmange. I don't even know what a blancmange is. I just like saying blancmange. That's a word that I've only been able to say in the past 3 years, because when I had my old Harry Kane jaw, weren't happening, blancmange. I want to tell you guys a tale of absolute woe and misery. I want to tell you guys the story of my worst ever stand-up gig and why it literally put me off doing it for the next 4 years. I've not even said the story yet and my cringe glands are already swelling up like an African bullfrog. Oh. But recently I have overcome my fear and I have managed to get back up on the stage. As you guys will probably know, I'm working alongside NCS this year, and our aim together is to try and encourage you guys between the ages of 15 to 17 to sign up to NCS and try new things, experience the world, make new friends, which is way more than I ever did between 15 and 17. I'm hoping that although my stories are very embarrassing and I did get knocked down, I got myself back up again, and you too. But you can as well. So if you guys do want to check out NCS, because I highly recommend you do, go to ncsyes.co.uk or just click the top line in the description. Could potentially be one of the best things you ever do. I actually have 2 cousins that have both taken part in NCS in previous years and they've absolutely loved it. So if I can encourage some of you guys to get out of the house and take part as well, then that's a job well done. Now, this story starts with BBC 3. Not BBC 3 online, but BBC 3 when it used to be on the telly. If you're too young to remember BBC 3 on the telly, then that is mental. That is, go and watch people open Kinder eggs or something, because this channel is not for you. Myself and my girlfriend at the time, my ex-girlfriend now, were the subjects of a BBC 3 show called Hotel of Mum and Dad. It's cringy. We all make mistakes. Now my girlfriend, who's now my ex-girlfriend, probably doesn't want to be named. Do you know what I mean? So I respect that decision, and for the sake of this video, we're going to call her... we'll call her Mebob. Alright, Meb, you're up. And the premise of the show was a little bit like that young, dumb, living off mum. We had to see if we could move out of our parents' house and into the big, bad world, baby. Will we make it? Of course we will. We live in England. This isn't Brazilian favelas. It's not hard. Myself and Mebob had only been together for 2 months at the time of recording, but for the sake of the show, we needed to be at that stage in our relationship that we were ready to move out. Can we do it? Who knows? So the producer took us aside before filming started and said, look, we're gonna say for the sake of the show that you've been together for a year or 2, okay? Obviously that didn't bother me. Fine, absolutely fine. It'll work out. That was until a scene in which they're filming my girlfriend, they're filming Mebob, and they asked Mebob if Mebob loves me. Mebob played the game perfectly. Despite only being with me for 2 months, she said, yes, of course I love Jack, he's great. Perfect answer. Box ticked. Thank you, Meb. I didn't know this though because I wasn't with her at the time of recording, and obviously when I was alone they asked me the same question, and for somebody who works in media I wasn't savvy enough to work out the correct answer. I went, nah, not really. Too soon to say, BBC, too soon to say. Maybe in the future I will, but right now I don't love anyone. So I get invited to Mebob's house to go and sit with her family to premiere the show. So I went to Mebob's house and I sat there with her mum, sat there with her, sat there with her older brother, sat there with her hard uncle, and I think you know where this is going. The scene comes on, she confesses her love for me, it's all lovely. It's all lovely. But I'm looking around the room, fully aware of where this is going. There's never been a time in my life where I've more wanted to be a meme. I wanted to be that Homer Simpson meme where he just goes in the bush. Like that. My scene's there. Boom. Jack, do you love Mebob? No, not really. Nah, not for me. Too soon. And I'm just sat there looking around the room at her mum, at her uncle, at her, just feeling a bit sick. Just deadpan, they all just turn to look at me. Like that. I should probably go, shouldn't I? Oh, it's been lovely. It's been a good 2 months. See you around. We did actually break up about 2 weeks after that. BBC 3, being the highbrow channel that it was, they really needed a narrative for our show. They needed a storyline, they needed to show character development. Yada, yada, yada. One of the producers took me aside on the 4th day of filming. We were only filming for 5 days. It was the Thursday. They took me aside, they said, Jack, what do you want to be? What's the end goal? Apparently, dead wasn't the right answer. So I went for a take 2. I didn't know what to say. They put me on the spot, so I just went, comedian. That seems like a natural progression from what I do to a bigger thing. The next morning, the producers wake me up, we're outside your flat, just to let you know, get preparing, we've booked you a stand-up comedy gig for tonight. I think there might be bad signal on these phones, mate, because that sounded like you said that you've booked me a stand-up comedy gig for tonight. You wouldn't have said that, would you? You wouldn't have said that. They did say that. They did. So just like that, I had about 4 hours to prepare a whole stand-up routine for the first time in my life. They booked me a little pub in Norwich where I had to go and perform at the King's Inn or the Duke Arms or the Cockheads or something like that. Definitely wasn't the Cockhead. I think I was the only Cockhead in that situation. So anyway, long story short, I write down some jokes on my phone, just words, and I travel to the pub in Norwich. I walk into the pub, I'm already quite nervous, and the first thing I see is a grown man in a suit lying on the pub floor at 3 PM in the day, crying. Great! Never in life is that a positive sign, is it? I don't think anyone ever in life has seen a grown man in a suit lying on the floor at 3 PM in the afternoon and thought, oh, this is going to end well. So obviously I'm already a bit nervous, so I got to the landlord, I'm trying to make friends, I'm the comedian, I'm the cool guy. Hello mate, oh let me tell you some gags. To which he replied, oh mate, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Yeah, we just had a wake here. He's just lost his dad. So with that said, I quickly diverted my attention from the fully grown man in a suit on the floor at 3 PM to the other 2 or 3 men crying at the bar. I genuinely, honestly thought I was on a hidden camera show. I thought it had all been an elaborate prank to make me look a knobhead. Another thing I said to the landlord was, how many of these gigs do you have on then? These open mic nights? Which he said, first one mate. Great, that's exactly what I want to hear, thank you. The next half an hour went pretty much exactly how you're imagining it did. I just went and stood in the corner of the pub like that with a mic that kept squeaking a lot, just looking through my phone, reading stuff, while these 3 men are mourning the loss of their poor, ill father. I remember the first sort of joke I said was something along the lines of, researchers have discovered that if you don't laugh at somebody's jokes, you're 75% more likely to be attracted to them. So you guys, if you don't laugh tonight, it's a win-win for me. You know how you just reacted to that joke? That's how they did as well, except it's more awkward because I can't see you not laugh. I can't feel you stare into my soul, but I could see and feel all of them. Thank you, I'll just go. Sorry about your dad. Yeah, that traumatised me for a good 4 years. Took me a long time to get over that. Really did. Fast forward 4-5 years, we're in 2017. And I don't know what it was about 2017. I'm not sure if it was the fact that I knew I was about to turn 25 this year, so that was quite daunting. You're midway through your 20s and all that. I don't know whether it was because I was lucky enough to obviously sit down with Ricky Gervais again and hear about how he entered the world of comedy. I don't know what it was, but something just switched in me and I thought to myself, I have to give this another go. But although I was definitely awful, and I'm not making any excuses because it was just me, I could have been funny. Nobody told me not to be funny. I just feel like the situation wasn't helped. Do you know what I mean? There was a few factors in that room that didn't give me the best springboard to elevate into my stand-up career. But you'll be pleased to know I have been doing a few gigs recently under wraps because I don't want any of the audience coming just yet. I'm doing a few gigs and they've been going really, really well. So I'm actually stoked. I'm actually excited for the future. And I'm super glad that I didn't let that one bad sort of period of my life define the rest of it, because that would have been a waste. That'd have been a waste of all this potential. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully one day when I put some shows together and a proper stand-up routine, you guys can come along and throw stuff at me. Because let's face it, that's inevitable. So yeah, I guess the moral of the story, in a roundabout kind of way, is to not give up based on bad previous experiences. Try new things, get out there, and who knows what will happen. Do you know what I mean? Say yes to more things. And that's why I am genuinely super excited to be working with NCS this year. I mean, their website, above all else, is ncsyes.co.uk, so that really fits into the mantra in which I try to live my life by. So, thank you very much for hearing my tales of absolute woe and misery. Thank you NCS for allowing me to work alongside you during such a positive campaign this year. Thanks guys for watching. Hit that. I'm off to the cock's head.